welcome to our art space. I'm Stephanie Say. And who are you?
I'm Ken Burney. How are you? What's that?
Not much. We're just hanging out in our studio today. This is our home studio in Artist Village in Lexington, Kentucky. Ken's been at an art fair this weekend.
I'm tired.
And we're both very tired, but happy to be back in the studio.
Oh, that was really good. That was at the Cincinnati Art Museum.
Yeah.
And that was the first time for me to participate in that holiday market.
Right?
As we both love going to the CAM.
Yes. It's a lovely museum. Everybody's very friendly. We got lots of good feedback about your work, so that was fun.
A lot of good conversations with visitors to the table.
Right.
I had a nice setup. Although, somebody, you're in the corner. No, it was a great corner.
It was kind of nice to be back a little bit, yes.
Yeah, back away from all the traffic.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a lot of traffic. I mean, even
It was very
for
busy.
our area.
Yeah, it was very busy. Yeah, but so we're both just back in the studio working on some paintings today. I'm working on just a background. I'm an abstract painter, so I'm just putting some acrylic on the background today. What are you working on, Ken?
Pretty much reworking a painting. You work a painting, you think it's finished, and then you look at it again, it's not.
Not quite finished.
Not quite finished. So
that's where you are.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Well, welcome. We hope you guys enjoy. We like to create kind of a relaxed atmosphere. Would you say?
Yeah, pretty chill. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm considered a contemporary artist, and my work leans on impressionism and expressionism, I'd like to say.
Yes. I'm mostly abstract. I like to do some nature work. I like to paint with emotion. I like to express emotion. I like it when people see my art and feel emotion. I'm mixing some paint now. I want the background to be pretty dark, but vibrant.
I'm using a palette knife right now, but I primarily like to use a brush, and again, sometimes with a palette knife, or both.
Starting by applying the darkest color I want to use today, which is this really deep purple. We're both using palette knives today.
Yeah, I think so.
noise is gonna be on video. Feels like it might be annoying, but that's okay. So, teal blue I wanna add in here. Sometimes we'll be working next to each other and then we'll get to the end of a painting and realize we have the same color palette going, and I just realized I've got a lot of blues and greens and purples on my palette, and that's what you're painting today too.
Some blues. Trying to rework the faces. I'm not too happy about the faces I created.
You're not. What makes you unhappy about a face?
With these faces, I think it's the colors. I have a lot of yellows in the faces.
You don't like the yellows that feel too harsh or something?
A little too harsh, a little too on the hot side. I think they need to be a little bit warmer.
Ah. How do you take, did you say it needs to be warmer?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I trust my color theory is
Well, I mean, I was trying to figure out, so you're trying to take out the yellow
take out the yellow.
and make it darker? Like it's like the yellow's too light?
Yeah, it's a little too, it's
Oh,
way
okay.
too light.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I use, I like to think, okay, it's a little too hot,
Ah.
So,
Oh, that's a good way to say it.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's way too hot.
Okay. And so when the face is too hot, does it just make it look harsh?
It looks like they're just being burnt up by the sun.
Like they're all having a hot flash?
There's some reference to what's
I
happening
have
over there.
no idea what you're talking about. At this stage, I just kind of like to move the paint around. This will be a background. There'll be a whole layer of oil and cold wax on top of this. So, and I actually want it to be pretty dark, but with some brighter colors coming through, so that when the layer on top happens, then you'll see all of these layers. Or see all these colors mixed together. This process tends to be more intuitive than anything else, which to me is kind of fun because it's like I sort of have it planned, but not really. When you start painting, do you have a plan?
I have a plan to make it look right. and I don't know when that happens until it happens.
Oh wow.
So that's
Okay.
the plan. The plan is, well, if I'm happy with it in the end, because I had a plan, like
Initially. Yeah.
like 2 paintings ago when I started on this.
Is this your third iteration of this painting? Your third
I think,
attempt?
yeah, this is my 3rd attempt to make it right, because I always say if I make a mistake, or if I'm not happy, I don't, because I don't want
Yeah, it's not really a mistake.
Yeah,
it's
it's not
just,
really
yeah.
a mistake, and that's not a reference to another artist. say, oh, make little happy little mistakes.
All that we love him.
Yeah, and he likes his mistakes. So, with me, I always say that if I'm not happy with it, I can paint over it.
True. Which is what you've done 3 times now with this one.
This is the third time.
Acrylic dries so fast. Sometimes it gets ahead of me. No, is the black gonna undo it? Should I not have done the black? That is the question.
Mixing the paint on the canvas sometimes.
Yeah. You mean like coming in sort of wet on wet?
Yeah. And I have to be pretty quick about that. Because, as you said earlier, acrylics dry
It dries so quick, yeah.
quickly. I think I would enjoy oils just because you can move them around.
Yeah.
I have tried oils, and that's one thing I enjoy about using oils, because you can move the paint around. Stay with acrylics because they dry so quickly. I have to sometimes work a little faster for things I want to do, and so I won't have to go back in and rework it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I need one more color in here. What do you think I'm gonna go for? What color do you think I need?
I don't know. Do you have enough purple in there? Is that your favorite color? Do you have enough purple?
I think there's plenty of purple, but what color does it seem like I need? What do you think?
Again, we were talking about me and color theory.
It's not your thing?
It's not my thing.
Well, it is my thing. I love color.
Yeah, I love color too.
Well, you love color, yes. I love the complexity of mixing colors. Figuring out exactly what color I need, and right now, I feel like I need an orange. Might be perfect, or might just take it too far over the edge. Who knows? You might be like, oh my gosh, Stephanie, that's terrible.
go for it attitude.
Well, I mean, look at this painting. Is this about as go for it as you can imagine? I'm sure I love the orange I mixed, but we'll see. Ken tends to stay very neat when he paints, and I've already got paint all over me. If I don't have paint in my hair, it means I'm not really painting. You agree?
I'm surprised you're painting those clothes.
No, me
because-
too. I actually forgot to put on paint clothes. So now these are paint clothes. Okay. I have to stay back here and see what else I need on it. I'm gonna take some black.
So are you just working, are you working with acrylics or oils?
Acrylics right now.
Okay, and are you using any cold wax in your,
Not with the, you can't do it with the acrylics, but the next layer will be cold wax.
oh, I see, this
And
is
oil.
your acrylic base.
Yep. Yep. So a lot of this you won't even see in the painting. This will just come through wherever I'm sort of scraping off the next layer. You'll
Okay,
see this.
and that'll be the cold wax with the oils.
Right.
Okay,
Right. I'm doing this really dark because I think I'm going to do that layer light so that when I scrape off and come to this layer, you'll see it through. These bright and dark colors will come through the lighter color on top. Not sure what color. I might go with like a really light blue, kind of like a sky blue.
sounds very complex.
Yeah. Well, it's really more. I would call it like, what's the word? I said intuitive earlier, but like to me, it's like a mystery.
It's like an extreme technique.
Yeah, it's like a mystery. It's like I'll you know.
I'm pretty extreme with my techniques as well. Like I'll paint a painting and then I'm not happy with it, and I'll paint it again, and then I'll paint it again.
Are you happier with it now? What's
No.
happening over there?
I'm not sure.
You're still not happy?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Hmm. I like to make some like smaller areas of color, especially if I have some really big areas of the same color, like all of my purples over here. That way, if I'm like removing a line, you'll see several colors instead of one large block of color. What do you think? Does it look like total chaos?
Actually, I can see the future.
You can? Nice. Tell me about it. What is coming?
It's pretty colorful.
Yep, I would say you're right. That's probably a pretty fair bet, I would say. Two artists that live in a purple house, I would say that's a pretty solid bet.
Solid assessment.
Yeah. What do you think painting does for you, Ken, when you're, we've had a busy week, we've had a rough couple of weeks as far as the world goes. What does painting do for you in those times?
That's a good question. You're just contemplating.
Really? The question of what painting does for you?
It's like asking me, what is the meaning of life?
I did not realize it was that deep. I thought it was going to be it relaxes me, or I had no idea I was opening such a can of worms. That we were going to get Ken Birdie's meaning of life speech.
Honestly though, I used to work as a graphic designer, right?
Yeah.
I've done that. I've worked as a sign painter. I've done that.
Right.
And, I can go through the whole gambit of
All the art careers you
all
had.
the art careers. I've had 100 jobs.
Yeah.
And painting is a freedom. Painting is just a freedom of expression, and of my ideas.
Okay.
How I view one subject to the next,
Right.
and of course I have that control over it. And there's a lot of things that I could tell you that go into my paintings and hope that people feel that.
Right.
Like this weekend, people looked at my painting from that Element series.
Right. Right.
And I pay attention to that. I pay attention to what,
How people respond,
people
what they say.
respond,
Yeah.
how they vibe to it.
Right.
Not as are they getting it?
Right.
But how do you feel about that?
Hmm.
And do you feel maybe some of the things that I feel?
Yeah.
Some calmness, some empathy.
Right.
And
What element? What are you referring to? One of the elements in particular that you were hearing comments about?
well, a lot of comments about Earth before it's sold.
Right.
And then the only things, plural, that were left were the prints
Right.
of that painting and the...
Well, I think the prints were gone too.
Yeah, they were gone.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying after the painting was gone.
Oh, I see what people were commenting
what
about.
they were commenting about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That drew a lot of people in.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
And
that.
they
I
knew
think,
exactly what it was.
right. I think people can relate. I think there's, I think so many people care deeply about Earth,
Yeah, and I was, that really, because of the times,
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, well, if I did that painting 2 years ago, will it have resonated the same way
Right.
that it did?
That it did the other day. Yeah.
few
Yeah,
days ago?
that's a good question. Yeah. I don't know. I think that I always have the question of I have a certain thing that I'm expressing, right? As I paint, you were expressing a certain thing in your Earth one, right? Your feeling about Earth, your feeling about what you were expressing. I always think it's interesting because for me, you said you're not really worried about whether they're getting it, right? Like I think some artists I think do think that way. I actually don't think that way either. Like it doesn't matter to me if they sort of get what my emotion was, even though usually I think people do, because I think if you're expressing something, usually it's pretty universal, right? Like our feelings are pretty universal. You know, we all sort of feel.
One would hope.
What right? One would hope. But what I love
Well,
is
to the
when
good.
somebody gets something I didn't like. When somebody gets something different, or they feel connected to it in some way that I wasn't expecting. That's actually my favorite part. And I think watching people with your work, like there were people seeing things in it, you know, because somebody said they were looking, I think, at water and saying like, oh, yeah, from over here I see something totally different than over here, you know. And I think to me that's the beauty of art, is that you get to see it through your own lens.
Sure, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and they were asking, was that intentional? And
Right.
well,
And you're like, sort of ish.
yeah. Well,
I intentionally painted it, but
intentionally painted it for people to have a reaction. And if that's the reaction that you're having, then
it's intentional.
I paint with intent. Yes, I do paint with intent.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, I think I'm finished with my layer of acrylic.
So, the question was earlier, do you have a plan? And I know you have a plan for technique.
Yeah. But to have a plan for what this is.
Yeah, is there an emotion involved with it, or is there an idea involved?
I actually think I'm going to do this one another poetry piece.
Okay.
I haven't done one in a while.
Okay.
So, so my thought is for this one, that it's going to be, the layers on top, I think I'm going to do something geometric, in it, some sort of, I don't know, some sort of line, some sort of swirl, something more geometric. And then I think I'm going to try again. It's not as easiest thing to write my poetry in there, but that's what I'm going to work on again this time, I think.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
do I know exactly which poem I'm going to use? No. But,
Will it be something that you wrote?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, as I paint this blue, I was thinking about how well the Detroit Lions are playing.
Are you serious? You had to get the Lions in.
I'm thinking about music. I'm thinking about jazz.
And the Lions. Don't lie.
Yeah, the Lions.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, be sure to join us again. We're in the studio as much as we can be, so.
Please join us again at this same time, in this same station. No, not really.
No, not at all. That's a terrible thing to say. You can't expect that. Our lives are too unpredictable for it to be the same of anything. But.
Well, this week is the Governor's Awards.
Right.
In
Frankfurt, yeah.
Frankfurt, so we're looking forward to going there and attending that.
Yeah, a friend of ours got the award.
Yeah. But we'll keep that quiet for now.
Right. All right.
Since that's the vibe.
Exactly. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate you. Come back soon. Well, when we come back. Peace. Live long and prosper.
I was going to say, wait, did you take my tagline?
We're a peace sign.